Diddy, Sean John Combs was on the Breakfast Club, and this video has been getting spicy about him and his relationship with Mase. And at the end of the day, I might have to side with what Puffy says. There's always been problems with certain bad boy artists, the Lox, Mase, wanting to get out of their contracts. At the end of the day, you look back 20, almost 30 years, what Diddy is saying is right. He only recorded one record with him. At the end of the day, a lot of these artists, and mind you, this is before the 360 deals. This is when CDs was going for $19.99 and this, that, and the third. A lot of these artists are acting like disgruntled employees at a job. You applied for a job, you got the job, and then when it was time for you to do your job, you complained about your job, knowing good and damn well this is what the stipulations of having this job was going to do for you and how it was going to pay you. Mase is always talking about he won't let me out my contract. He got my publishing. At the end of the day, Puffy gave you an opportunity to be put on his platform, on his label, in his entertainment company to sell records on the behalf of that record label. You made millions of dollars. Before you signed the contract, you seen the contract. Nobody put guns to rappers' heads and told them, you have to sign this. You have a choice. You see, Craig Mack got out of his contract because he didn't agree with it. God rest the dead. But these artists, like, you look back at it, like when they had the whole Let the Lox Go campaign. The Lox first album was a piece of trash. It wasn't good because they were bad boy artists, and the direction that Diddy was at in that time, they were trying to sell records, not sell mixtapes to the streets. So certain songs were put on there to try to gain radio play and commercial hits, because that's what Diddy is. Diddy's an executive. He wants the music to be played on the radio. He wants to have the music played in the clubs. It's about making songs. That's the difference between somebody that does mixtapes and somebody that is an executive who produces albums. But at the end of the day, they had this big campaign, Let the Lox Go. The Lox went out of their contract. At the same time, if it wasn't for that bad boy contract, the Lox probably wouldn't have the legacy that they have now. Mase probably wouldn't have the legacy that he has now. And it's real funny because if you really think about it, Puff only did record one album with him. It was like at that second album, he recorded it, then he took his ball and went home and became a minister and started doing his Creflo Dollar shit. So how can you really be upset? At the end of the day, a lot of times people have to be grateful for opportunities, because when you're very ungrateful for an opportunity, karma comes back around. Because yeah, you did what you did on the label, you wrote this, you wrote that, but you were getting a lot of, the Lox too was getting a lot of features with a lot of artists that they wouldn't get if they were on a Def Jam, if they were just on Rough Rider, if they were just on the corner in Yonkers or in the corner in Harlem rapping and battling. A lot of opportunities. Guarantee you, with the Rough Riders, you wouldn't have those features with Mariah Carey. Guarantee with Mase, he had a whole lot of features. He was the golden boy. After Big Pass, or God rest the dead, yeah, you kind of put that label on your back with your pen and your collaborations and writing for Puff and other artists, and doing your own thing. But at the same time, you were part of that machine that gave you the option, that gave you the ability to do these things. So you can't come on TikTok and say, where's the money and this, that, and the third, and then at the end of the day, you still owe. At the end of the day, it's kind of strange when you see one part of a party barking, always barking, but the one that they're barking against doesn't say anything. And then when that party that doesn't say anything starts to open up what's really going on, that's when you come to the conclusion like, oh, this is logical. This makes sense.